Today I'll be talking about h3h3Productions and his recent video that could possibly change the internet. If you've been watching my series on iDubbbz, which if you haven't, make sure to go check it out, but you would know about the Hasan orbiters and how they hate H3. You would also know about Hasan and how he often leaves his chair while, quote, reacting to videos and leaves them on while he's gone. This was a topic talked about a year or two ago where streamers were even breaking the copyright fair use system by leaving videos on while they were streaming and either adding little to no commentary or just straight up leaving their chairs for multiple minutes at a time while the video plays. Some of these false quote reactions would then get uploaded onto YouTube by the same streamer, sometimes getting more views than the original creator, profiting in so many ways off of someone else's work. This type of issue dates back to the Leafy and Content Cop era of YouTube, where a YouTuber called Jinx would do the same. I've talked about this before in some of my past videos. They would also use the same title and thumbnail to cannibalize, quote, you could say, this is what people have been saying, the viewership and basically feed off of that.
Let me tell you guys a story. About a year and a half ago, it's a big conversation called ReactGate. ReactGate was a debate going on in the streaming community about what constituted fair use. People like Hasan, XQC, and many of the large Twitch streamers would watch other creators' entire video on their stream. They would rarely add sufficient commentary or even pause the video to speak. Most egregiously, they would re-upload the entire VOD to YouTube with the same thumbnail, the same title, so that they could cannibalize traffic from the original video. Here's what Lamino had to say about this phenomenon.
I don't mind people reacting to my videos, but I do mind when they play the entirety of my video. A face cam in the corner or the occasional interruption does nothing to address that issue. My video is still being played from beginning to end in someone else's stream or video. It's neither ethical nor necessary to feature the entirety of someone else's work. Or, they could do the bare minimum and ask for permission. Something that none of the major reaction channels have ever done when they've streamed or re-uploaded my videos. But to answer your question, no, I don't want people to stream or re-upload the entirety of my videos.
Now, understandably, this made a lot of people angry because why should these content thieves, essentially, get more views than the author of the video, which in a lot of cases was happening? I mean, people don't like injustice, and we all see this and know it's not right.
But recently, H3 has been hinting at a big video coming out. I talked about it in my last episode on iDubbbz.
I am proud to announce that tomorrow, bearing some unfathomably bad luck, will be the video's done tomorrow. The second nuke is dropping. The video is done and I'm happy with it. It came out good, and let me tell you something, this thing I'll tell you, it's 22 minutes long, and it's a different type of delivery. It's a different weaponry than the first one. It's just a whole different combat system. But there's never been a video like this in YouTube history. I'll say that. Nothing like this has ever dropped.
That's what Logan Paul said before the Suicide Forest.
He did? Well, he was right, though.
He was right. To his credit,
he was right.
He was definitely right.
Yeah. We still talk about that video.
Yeah.
Hopefully mine has a little... Well, it's definitely going to be controversial. I mean, I don't show any dead bodies, although there might be some metaphorical dead bodies after this.
And we all were thinking it was a content nuke on iDubbbz, but it was actually about 3 streamers specifically and a big issue on the platforms that I just talked about earlier. H3's video is titled, I'm Suing These Three Creators, where he goes on to talk about why he's suing these 3 streamers and specific examples as to how they were maliciously stealing his video. And to give a little bit more background information and context, Ethan Klein made a content nuke on Hasan Piker, basically a content cop or a big expose video on Hasan Piker, because they've been beefing back and forth, and Hasan and others a part of Hasan, like the Orbiters, have done some bad things, and he called all of them out in this one video. And this was about 6 or 7 months ago that the video was released, but Ethan Klein registered a license, a copyright license, on this video. This makes it to where you can sue for damages and theft for that video.
There's one thing about copyright you should know, is that you got to register it before you publish to be eligible for statutory damages and attorney's fees, which is the main biting force of a copyright infringement lawsuit. Well, I'm happy to tell you guys now, I, Ethan Klein, have registered Hasan Piker Content Nuke with the United States Library of Congress. Some of you guys out there sweating?
All these Hasan orbiters who were reacting to this on live streams were not only profiting off of it, but actually having insane spikes in viewership while working with these snark subreddits, which are Reddit forums that are against, don't like, or even hate a certain creator, an entire subreddit full of haters. But this subreddit was also used to help promote people to watch other streamers that were going to react to the content nuke, so they didn't watch the video themselves on Ethan's channel and give him a view and the money from it.
I kid XQC, but he is not the one I'm suing. Despite my criticism, he's not a malicious infringer, but the ones I am suing, you'll see, are much, much worse. Now, ironically, after this debate and in the wake of this large conversation, the problem seems to have only gotten worse. You have people like Hasan Piker paving the way of fair use with what's known as chair reacts, when Hasan gets up to go to the bathroom, or to eat, or to talk to his mom, or to do whatever, disappears for an extended period of time, and leaves the video playing for his chair. Mr. Chair, they call it.
IDF had warned people to leave the area around the main airport in Sana'a. Then this.
Do not this operation will result in killing hostages in captivity. Will result in the death of those.
Well, I've been seeing
And it was in this setting that I formulated an idea. What if I could make a long-form, irresistible piece of content that I knew that these streamers couldn't resist, they couldn't avoid the temptation of watching it the second it was published?
I don't have an issue with them.
It's not that I wanted these people to steal my video. It's that I knew they would. I knew they would watch the entire video, add little to no commentary, react to it instantly, giving them no time to form an opinion. The trap was set, and it worked even better than I imagined it would. We captured pretty much every large streamer reacting to it in its entirety immediately after it was published. Now the thing is, there were a few people that went above and beyond to commit copyright infringement. For example, Denims sits here silently with nearly 50,000 live viewers. That's 30 times her regular viewership. She's working directly with the snark subreddit moderators to siphon views, and their intentions couldn't be clearer. Here's an excerpt from a stickied post from the snark subreddit. Hey everyone, we've seen a lot of comments about wanting to watch the nuke without showing support for H3. Here's a list of creators who've supported our sub, either by engaging with us directly or citing our post in their critique of H3. Here they're offering these streamers as market substitutes for my work. This is the cardinal sin of copyright infringement. The snark subreddit has been a frequent and persistent infringer. That's how I knew when this video came out, the snarkers were going to encourage, promote, and push streamers to commit copyright infringement. I should thank the snarkers actually. Because of their predictability, they acted like double agents for us, incriminating their favorite streamers and serving them up on a golden platter. So, thank you, Snark. It's one thing for a subreddit to admit it's engaging in copyright infringement, but how do you get the streamers themselves to admit that they're stealing content?
Well, guys, if you enjoyed not giving any views to that terrible video, follow, subscribe, throw a prime. If you like the content, if you enjoyed your time here.
It turns out they just do it for you. You couldn't cook up a more incriminating statement if you tried. Denims, the queen of self-owning, you prevail again.
H3 goes on to talk about how he could technically sue everyone if he wanted to, but he decided to focus on just these three people because they didn't properly react to the video and also self-admitted that they were being malicious with this. He also didn't want bigger companies like Disney to be the first to do it because of how careless they'd be about all the creators. A lot of people will react to movies, TV shows, and stuff like that. Like how there's free episodes of Forged in Fire on YouTube, Hasan would react to these with little to no commentary. And big companies like that don't really care as much. They don't really care about creators. So they would have a lot more damage than, Ethan would do because he's an actual creator and understands.
Even though theoretically I could sue a lot more creators and rake in millions of dollars, but the purpose of this is not financial gain. People like XQC and Asmongold may have watched the entire thing, but I would never sue them just for doing that. I don't want to chill the reaction community into fear. Actually, the opposite. I hope that we can all unite against this type of egregious behavior that not only makes us all look bad, but could destroy the commentary community as we know it.
Well, guys, if you enjoyed not giving any views to that terrible video, follow, subscribe, throw a prime.
The state of reaction content on Twitch is so broken, these creators feel comfortable looking right into a camera and saying outright, hey, I'm stealing this guy's content. Pay me instead of him. This is not a healthy environment, and with people like Hasan reacting to entire TV shows on stream, my fear is that Sony or Disney comes along, sues everybody, and sets a devastating precedent that could endanger our entire field.
These three people were a part of a campaign to steal Ethan's video. One thing that doesn't make sense to me is why would you leave your computer with a video on that you can pause? If it's a live stream, sure, I kind of get it, that's understandable, but it's a video, especially if it's about someone you know or possibly about you. If it's against your friend, you want to debunk it, you want to argue anytime you can, especially these people, they love to argue and sit there and yap the entire time. So why let it play while you're gone? What if there's a key piece of important information in that segment that you just missed because you'd rather leave the stream running and leave the video running while you went to use the bathroom? If you're wondering what the alternatives could be, you could simply pause the video, or they can do what Sam Hyde and General Sam have done in the past, which is have some intermission video for their streams, or do the usual thing, which is of course having the graphics saying intermission or be right back on the screen while they are gone. It was that simple, but they decided to be egotistical and think that they can get away with this. H3 made a good point about how Twitch doesn't really do anything to stop this behavior like YouTube does. If YouTubers and other platforms have to abide by these rules for fair use and being transformative, then streamers should have to do it as well. An example would be SSS Sniper Wolf and her having to cut parts out of her reaction videos because of privacy complaints or because of complaints of not having consent to use the clips that she reacts to. Is an example where post-production, she has to take those out. And that's like a good example of the rules and stuff that YouTubers have to do. And also the original creator of the video, if they believe or deem it as not fair use, they can also just copyright claim the video, or they can also get your video took down. Copyright claiming the video would mean that they get all the money from it that the YouTuber originally would have. The three people he is suing are Kaceytron, Frogan, and Denims. I think all these people have been talked about in the past other than Kaceytron in the iDub series.
Now, before I tell you who the three people I'm suing are, I just want to make it clear that they all met this very specific high bar of criteria that I set forth earlier. These people were not targeted based on their gender, their identity, their political beliefs. All three are on this list. In fact, they're the only three, as far as I could tell, that reacted to the full video. Drum roll, please. Who's sweating at home, guys? Caseytron, the queen of ripping farts and bong loads.
They do musicals. They're very musical people. I know. Are you being serious? Dog, what do you... Look! You think I made this?
Frogan, who, bless her soul, she's still rising.
Can I walk away and use the bathroom? Do I have permission? Can I use the bathroom, please? I'll leave it playing.
Apparently thinks Twitch is liable for me interviewing a Yemeni teenager who's only known genocide his entire life.
What happened?
And Denims, the queen of self-owning. And my God, is she the queen of that?
It's very obvious from the way that guy's talking, he's a Sneeko fan.
Oh my God, bro, I love you, Hasan. Can I give you a hug, bro?
I'm so sweaty, bro.
I love you, bro.
None of the hostages that have been released so far have said that they have been raped. The hostages have public statements. You can go look at them.
I experience should never happen to any human being.
This Yemeni kid is just a Yemeni kid with a gun and is not a Houthi, and there is no proof of him being a Houthi.
Are you a soldier? Yes. That seems pretty definitive.
He never said Hassan Nasrallah was a good guy.
I can't believe I'm calling Nasrallah base. I mean, listen.
He has the full complaints in the description of his video, but they'll also be on my description in my video as well. But there was extra reasoning and extra stuff talked about as to why these people were being sued. Kaceytron was shown to spend more time smoking green than giving commentary, and also her smoking so much green made her unable to commentate, or basically her reaction was entirely useless. She would get lost because she's too out of it.
Now for the fun part. Let's take a look at the complaints, and let's start with my favorite of the three, the very own, the prestigious, the highly acclaimed, the highly analytical Kaceytron.
A lot of people have been wanting to watch this without necessarily supporting Ethan Klein. So we're gonna watch it.
Well, that's a really dumb thing to say, don't you think? Why are you so comfortable? We've given each complaint a clever little title, and here's Kaceytron's. She smoked more than she spoke. Kaceytron smokes 42 times during her reaction. And just as a silly thought experiment, we thought, wouldn't it be funny if she spent more time smoking than she did talking? And thinking there was no way that that could be true. Well, we tallied them up, and lo and behold, there's 15 minutes 40 seconds of commentary versus 18 minutes and 55 seconds of smoking. She spent 3 minutes and 15 seconds longer smoking than she did talking in her quote-unquote reaction. And whatever talking she did was just to express how confused she was, presumably from smoking 42 times.
What is happening? I'm trying to follow. I've lost the plot.
The complaint continues. Indeed, Kaceytron is often too obliterated to comment on the nuke, and instead stares blankly at her computer screen. In a span of 2 hours and 7 minutes, Kaceytron smokes frequently in highly concentrated forms through vaporizers on 42 separate occasions. At one point, Kaceytron is so wasted that she states, quote, "What is happening? I'm trying to follow, but I've lost the plot." To give you an idea, the majority of her commentary comes down to this.
I don't understand this bit that he's doing.
He's read more books than you could ever imagine.
CPM's coming out of Qatar.
What the hell
you
is
kids
going
love anime,
on?
right?
He's read more books than you could ever imagine.
What is happening? I'm trying to follow. I've lost the plot.
They do musicals. They're very musical people. I know. Are you being serious? Dog, what do you look? You think I made this? This isn't a music video, Hasan.
And as dumb as all of that is, this is the part that really got her sued.
A lot of people have been wanting to watch this without necessarily supporting Ethan Klein. Without necessarily supporting Ethan Klein. So we're gonna watch it. What's going on here?
Stating outright that her intention of doing this is so that people who don't want to support me can watch it through her is why copyright infringement laws exist. You could not and should not do that, especially if your commentary consists of you taking bong loads. At least try to engage with the content. Whoa, what was that? Oh, sorry. That was a flying star. It almost got me. Yeah.
Also, people that do it like this look like such losers. How in the world is behavior like this normalized? And as H3 says in the video, she hits something 42 times. That sounds like addictive behavior. Is that actually normal though? I'm super curious. Anyway, she spent more time smoking than speaking. In Frogan's situation, Thing would leave the seat on at least one occasion, and also just not say much at all during the quote reaction.
You know her and you love her, guys. Frogan. Reaction by exiting. Here she is getting up to leave the video running as she steps out of the room. Is that transformative? I guess the judge will decide. She said, quote, "It's time to watch the new nuke ethically." Very smart to say on camera, by the way. She said, quote, "Thank you guys so much. I do appreciate everyone's support. And thank you for watching it with me." Well, you are so welcome, and I'm so glad that you were able to enjoy that day. Her commentary is so non-existent that even her own fans begin to call her out.
I don't have anything to say, dude, because he's cycling the same points over and over again. What more commentary do you need on him repeating the same points for the whole first hour and 1 minute and 32 seconds? It's been the same over and over again. This video could have been condensed into 20 minutes. Like, what commentary do you want me to add by, like, oh, this guy's a idiot, he's mentally ill, and he's having a mental breakdown and uploaded it to YouTube? Are you gonna make at least one good point? What do you want me to make a point on?
Oh, I forgot. She also said, "Can I use the bathroom, please? I'll leave it playing." You may use the bathroom, Frogan, although I don't advise it.
Can I use the bathroom, please? I'll leave it playing.
This into your stomach. And let me state the obvious. Jew
Apparently thinks Twitch is liable for me interviewing a Yemeni teenager who's only known genocide his entire life.
What
And they were
happens?
fucking talking about
Well, you just pause it. That's it. You just pause the video, right? Like you get up and you go to the bathroom, you just pause it. They should be watching for you. But if you get up to go to the bathroom and they keep watching my video, they're clearly not watching for you, right? As lazy and pathetic as her reaction is, this is not why she's getting sued. This is.
Thank you guys so much. I do appreciate everyone's support. And thank you for watching it with me. First time viewer, time to watch the nuke ethically? Hell yeah. I found my way from Reddit. Hi guys, welcome Reddit people. Reddit people, Reddit people. I came from the h3h3 Reddit. Ethan is so pathetic while Hasan is in Japan. I'm bothered, having a great time. Exactly. We're gonna watch it live, yes. He doesn't want people to know when it's dropping because we're all watching through other streamers. And I suggest you all watch it through other people as well.
It's the stated malicious intent to steal. They talk about watching ethically, but I learned not to steal when I was 5.
I still don't understand the point of wearing a hijab while you're being the worst version of yourself. And for Denims, she would also leave her seat and not commentate much at all, but as said in the clips, they are mainly being sued as they verbally said themselves that they were streaming the video maliciously.
Up next is Denims. And honestly, just take a look at this, guys. It's a nightmare on Denim Street. Not only did she chair react, but she was kind enough to write her name right at the top just so that we knew that she was stealing my content and it was her room and nobody else's. Judge, did you know that we're on Denim Street right now? Here's some quotes from Denims. "We're relying on you to stay live so we don't have to give the nuke views. Yeah, I'm gonna stream it. Since he's confirmed it's coming out today, I'm gonna stream it." That is very explicit. Denim said, quote, "Well guys, if you enjoyed not giving any views to that terrible video, give me a follow, subscribe, throw a prime if you like my content." Your content? The Queen of Self-Own included a countdown timer so we could tell exactly how long she was away. After being gone for a few minutes, she returns and then sits silently for another couple of minutes eating.
I'm gonna go pee, and hopefully, when I'm back, they're done with this.
Right?
You do look better.
Mr. 305. I see it.
Dude, you should do this.
I have an alternate.
We're relying on you to stay live so we don't give more views on the nuke. Yeah, I'm gonna stream it. Since he confirmed it's coming out today, we're gonna stream it. If you want to watch it with someone else who's already watching it, you know, come enjoy the watch party somewhere else. If you enjoyed not giving any views to that terrible video, follow, subscribe, throw a prime. If you like the content, if you enjoyed your time here, because I'm going to be honest, I did not want to watch that by myself.
Let me also commercialize it by asking you to reward me financially for stealing his content. That is like chef kiss. By the way, Denims had a very successful stream. She had 43,000 people watching her live. Take a look at the title of her Twitch stream. Ethan Klein Hasan Content Nuke Watch Party. A watch party? I don't think that's fair use. Now, Denims, of course, always delivering the goods. She went on this dude's podcast to debate fair use. And would you be surprised if I told you she said a lot of incriminating things in that podcast? The Queen of Self-Own never disappoints.
I want to be clear on my opinion on like filler content and stuff. Like, I think filler content, like, you shouldn't do it. I know I do it as a React streamer. And I try to do it only when I do it with like Vox videos or Vice videos and stuff like that, because at least I'm not like directly ripping from one content creator and not like a whole team and stuff. And most of those videos have like 5 million views. I only get like 500 viewers. I'm taking maybe 50 views from the video. It's a lot harder to feel like, I guess, bad about that. Whereas like I would feel very bad about doing that to like a single content creator. The majority of people say that they literally wouldn't watch Hell's Kitchen unless I was streaming it. And it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm reacting hard enough. You know, I'm sure if you click on a random part in the video, I might not be saying anything, sure, whatever. And I might walk away from the screen. But it's about like the communal thing. It's why like Toast started streaming Death Note. It's not about the actual show at a certain point. It's the same reason you watch shows with your friends. You want to watch it with other people. A lot of people go to watch streamers on Twitch for their React content almost as a curator. So they don't actually want to go through YouTube themselves and watch a bunch of videos. And they probably never will go through YouTube and click a bunch of videos. They like going to Twitch because they like to have it as like, this streamer is curating fun content that I want to watch.
Like, I'm
From the people that I've talked to, the people who watch Twitch content are specifically there to to watch it so they don't have to scroll through YouTube and find a video they like. If someone watches content, I already said this, if someone watches content on someone else's stream, there is a very low likelihood that they're going to go watch it separately and give you like the view or the like. Or the people who are watching content on Twitch, curated Twitch content on Twitch, aren't necessarily people that would be watching content on YouTube.
That, my friend, is called theft. And you're a thief. And now I'm suing you. This is just a testimony to how brazen and how safe they've, gotten. That she thinks she can go out in public on video and say, like, I'm stealing this content because I want to. I'm coping even though I know it's stealing. When people watch it with me, they're definitely not going to go watch the original. Like, you are way too comfortable committing crimes out in the open. Well, there you have it. 3 separate lawsuits for 3 separate geniuses. Now, I want to make it clear again, and I hope it's been obvious about why I'm suing these 3 people and not others. These people not only violated all of the principles of fair use, they also did it maliciously. And that's the part that really got me. I think if you're a reactor on Twitch, for the most part, if you make a good faith effort to comment, and if you make a good faith effort to promote the author, to link to them, to try to drive traffic to the original video, I think you're probably pretty much doing the right thing, and that's fine. And I would never sue someone for that. Take it to these 3 absolute morons to state their intention to steal my property on video. And to all the detractors who are saying that I'm targeting women, that I'm a hypocrite for suing for copyright infringement, I just have this to say. I don't care. What I do hope, though, is that you'll support their crowdfunding efforts to defend themselves. Because let's face it, I want to make sure there's money left over for me when I win my lawsuits. Thanks for watching, everybody. It's been a great time. I'll see you around.
And now we'll get on to the reactions and the responses from everyone, including the people getting sued and then also just some outliers. H3 himself, actually. But for Kaceytron, she said that she was just countersuing, I guess. From the promotion tweet from Ethan talking about like who he's suing in the video itself, she says, quote, "Well, I'm going to sue you," as a response to the announcement tweet of the video.
Just because I didn't react to his stupid video, he had to make up that I did and put a video of me smoking over his stupid video to get attention. I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck about your video. Like, I don't know. I don't recall reacting to it. I don't believe that I reacted to it. I do not remember. I don't know. I may have been under the influence, but I do not recall reacting to it.
All these people also made GoFundMes for the legal fund. Frogan also deleted all of her Twitch VODs, or unlisted them at least, after this came out, which doesn't really help at all if they can retrieve them legally. And also, most of these people, I'm pretty sure the lawyers that H3 hired are definitely smart enough to download the stuff first, or at least screen record it before, before like letting it get just deleted. It just only really helps yourself in the public eye for a little bit until some of this stuff gets announced in court or whatever. And Denims' reaction to this, to be fair, I don't know if this is a super recent clip, but she is still showing off her reaction to the Content Nuke via Twitch highlights, which is basically the replay or VOD of the stream, but in a bookmark place on her Twitch profile. The VOD also seems to be clipped to take out stuff in the legal case that was incriminating.
I'm gonna say this once, so I need you to listen. Twitch auto-deletes VODs after 60 days. But luckily, I actually saved that highlight. So it's actually up right here. 3 hours and 52 minutes of glorious React content to the Content Nuke. It's right here. All of it in its entirety. Before I start watching, right before I start watching, all the way till I'm done watching. All right, buddy? It's all right there.
This dude.
Wow. That's gotta be like top 5 worst videos I've ever seen in my fucking life. Yeah, that's pretty bad. That was pretty honest. I never want to see anything like that ever again. Please, I'm begging you, Ethan Klein, stop making videos. They're not good. They're not good. Well, guys, if you enjoyed not giving any views to that terrible video, follow, subscribe, throw a prime. If you like the content, if you enjoyed your time here. Go to my channel right now, you can see. Oh my God. videos, highlights. And here it is. Here's the highlight. This is the highlight that I uploaded so that I could have it on record. I guess I must have had the thought already before to do this, but yeah. It's right here, and here is the entire reaction that I had to the content puke. If you guys are ever curious to go look at it. I am not going to litigate this case on the internet. I'm going to litigate this case in a court of law. Okay? I am. What I will do, however, is show you guys how, first of all, bad this video is that he made. And second, how bad this document is. Oh my God. And after reading it, I am starting to be concerned that a lot of it was actually written by Ethan, what's 10 divided by 10 Klein.
Also, doubling down on this just makes you look worse. Asmongold also had a few clips of his reaction come out about this.
As we know it.
I think Ethan brings up a really good point, and especially with people reacting to movies. So we had a situation like this with OTK. And there was an individual in the organization who thought that it would be a good idea to go to sleep and play all of the Lord of the Rings movies in a row. And I was the one, I will be honest, I was the one. I said, guys, we are courting disaster. We're starting trouble. This is not gonna be good. Reacting to movies? Yep, exactly. And I think that there's like a degree of reacting that's positive and a degree that's bad. And so, like, for example, that's why I always like link videos, I promote the creators, etc. But I think he's talking about the malicious ones that are trying to openly. This is something that Ethan even talked about when he was debating Hasan the first time, that he had DMCA'd different people that were re-uploading his content for the explicit purpose of reducing his viewership, which is a very different thing than somebody who's just reacting to the content because they're interested in it, right? I mean, you have one that is based off of malicious intent, and you have the other one that's based off of just kind of a personal gain. The paywalled stuff? Yeah, and also the paywalled stuff. Yes, of course.
Well, guys, if you enjoyed not giving any views to that terrible video, follow.
Why would you do this? Why do you do this? Bro, I react to videos all the time. Why are you messing this up for me? Why do you mess it? I've got a good thing going right now. Why do you this up? Why you this up, man? Everything fine. Everything was going great.
Oh, subscribe, throw a prime.
The state of reaction content on Twitch is so broken, these creators feel comfortable looking right into a camera and saying outright, hey, I'm stealing this guy's content. Pay me instead of him. This is not a healthy environment. And with people like...
Why would you do this? Why would you do this? Why would they do this? Why would you do this? Ethan, using it in your thumbnail for clickbait is amusing, though? Well, that's okay. That's okay. I mean, as I said, I have no problem with people using me for any of that kind of clickbait or anything like that. I think it's funny, to be honest. So it's okay with me. And you know, Dems, Kaceytron is scared because neither of them even made a slight joke, and they know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they are. I mean, as I said, I mean, if Ethan, like, here's the thing, is that people might not expect this out of me, but I can clearly see the difference, and I think that most reasonable people can clearly see the difference between malicious intent and people that are reacting for content for their audience. and stated malicious intent. And if Ethan wants any help or he needs any support or anything like that, you know, like I've talked to him before, he can just DM me. You know, that's it. Because I feel like, how do you feel about the Asmongold 24/7 channel that's streaming your content 24/7? Bro, I hate that guy, man. There's literally a justification for that called fair use. So it's not, the definition of fair use means that that's not always true. But fair use is a legal defense, and it's not a catch-all, nothing that I do is against my rules. I think that, like, one thing that I've noticed is that those creators, like the Denims and Frogans and Kaceytrons of the world, these are people that are obnoxious and vitriolic, and for some reason they think that they have, like, real-life plot armor, and nothing bad is ever going to happen to them. And so, like, they can literally just do bad things, whether it's being violent or encouraging violence or openly breaking the law, etc. And they just think that for some reason they have this privilege to do whatever they want. And I think that, you know, I'm glad Ethan's checking them on that. Would you do the same if it was you? I don't know. Like, I mean, I don't know what I would do. All the people mention you, hoping you farmed them? Yeah, sure. The 3 being sued and the others reacting has to do with their Reddit affiliation to the h3 snark group. Well, and I think also here's another thing is that, like, Sean DeBlack, I think, reacted to it. You know, Mike from PA reacted to it. Hasan himself reacted to it. So there were plenty of people that were oppositional to Ethan that reacted to the video that were negative about it. But Ethan suing those 3 people, there's a specific and unique reason for that. The legal reason Ethan's suing them is because they keep stating they'll play his video so he doesn't get money for watches. Exactly. Yeah, so, like, and these are, so this is exactly it, right? They're actually self-reporting that they are doing this. Literally self-reporting. That's a totally different situation. Ethan, please stream this lawsuit. Please stream it. Please stream it so I can react. Please, I need this, man. I really fucking need this.
So we're gonna watch it.
Well, that's
the irony. I know.
Really dumb thing to say, don't you think?
Why would you say
Why
that?
are you so comfortable? We've given each complaint a clever little title.
The reason why she's so comfortable is that she openly says and calls people, says all kinds of insane, really bad, defamatory stuff on Twitter constantly, and she suffered 0 consequences from it from Twitch. She's another one of these people that somehow has plot armor because I'm assuming some of her politics line up with some of the politics of the moderation department of Twitch. That's the reason why. I'm not interested in the way that she looks. It doesn't matter to me what her appearance is.
And here's anyone else's reactions that I get, probably like Tectone.
By the way, must scare the piss out of them. He uploads a video called Ethan, This Is Embarrassing, already getting dislike bombed at 2,600 dislikes. Here's the original video in case you guys want to go support this. Regardless of how you feel about me or feel about Hasan, always make sure to credit the original user's posting. But let's see Hasan's reaction to Ethan's reaction. Let's see what's going on here. Now, make sure to go support Hasan as well. Great guy, great friend. Let's get into it.
Apparently, there's a second content nuke that is, I guess, the...
You know what's funny? This guy is so disingenuous. This guy has to form Giga Chads, and look at how much I don't care. He puts on a different voice to try to act like he doesn't care that he just lost 3 of his friends $500,000. And you know what's crazy? Here's the best thing that Hasan doesn't realize yet. This is opening up Kaceytron, Denims, and Frogan to be permanently banned. That's the truth, by the way. That's the thing that a lot of people in the public don't realize. I had a lot of conversation with a lot of people last night. This does open up those 3 to be permanently banned, which would fall directly on Hasan's head, by the way, which means people are going to be horrified talking to this guy because that's the damage he causes his friends. Let's keep going here. By the way, guys, make sure to support Ethan by donating to Denims GoFundMe. Let's keep going here.
The timelines, and I make some interesting. I'm in the content nuke apparently, but
he's trying so hard to act like he doesn't care. It's so funny because the political space is so fraudulent. They're like, the more I act like I don't care, the cooler I am, the more W's I farm. Hey guys, so 3 of my friends are getting sued because of me, but it's like, whatever, and you know what I mean? Like, oh, yeah. Oh, Ethan Klein. You racist piece. Let's keep hearing the reaction here. Let's see how long he can hold his composure. Guys, do you think he'll break? Let's find out.
Lonesome Poet says, just got here and wondering if what Ethan did is considered entrapment. Sorry, and once again, I want to explain this stuff. I'm just laughing in general. So, and that's not a thing. You're probably thinking about like police entrapment or something else different. This is not criminal. This is copyright infringement. So no, there's no such thing in the law of entrapment. It's enforcing your right. And I use the example once again of the house, right? So it's like putting an alarm on your house. Is that trapping the burglar? No.
There was also misinformation about Ethan suing Hasan, which isn't the case at all, as he responded on Twitter saying, quote, I was never going to sue Hasan because I asked him to react to it. That's a presumed license, and his usage is obviously fair use. I specifically sued these 3 because they're malicious statements to act as a market substitute. And this was even said in the video as well. I don't know why people were spreading false information that H3 was suing him. Whenever you watch the video, he says himself he's not going to. H3 also had comments on a follow-up live stream after the video dropped and added that he could also subpoena the Reddit users as well. The specific like Reddit mods and stuff that were a part of promoting this stealing.
Yeah, so we're here for everybody, because I just dropped the long-awaited. We're calling it the second nuke. It's not really the second nuke. There is a second Hasan video, but that's like down the pipeline.
Wait.
This is all part of my I have a 10-year plan.
Calling it the second nuke. I've been hearing about the second nuke for months.
It's not technically.
This isn't it.
Dan.
It's not technically a content nuke. It's more of a fallout, radioactive fallout. I know, I'm sorry, Dan. Misled a lot of people. But I think people are really happy with what they got. I don't think I oversold it. You know, I saw lots of people saying, this better not be a nothing burger.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, when have I ever delivered a nothing burger?
How to do that? I'm suing somebody.
First time on the other side.
We've only ever been sued.
It's like I said, I was closing one front and opening another, and I got to tell you, for the first time in my life, it is I'm not going to say it is a nicer feeling, let's say, being on the other side.
Right.
Especially when you know your cases are like easy slam dunks. These people are going to be begging me to settle. Creators of the snark that I show in this video, they colluded with these creators to help create a market substitute for my work. And it was pinned by moderators. So these moderators are named as co-conspirators. And now that we've filed a complaint officially, we can subpoena Reddit for to see if they have any identifying information so that we can also sue them. Yeah.
Huh.
What?
It's just cool.
What does that mean?
I'm being sincere.
But why did you say "huh" like that?
Just because I don't think that they expected that that would be happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was worried I was gonna have to add you.
Dan, chill.
No, that's
like,
what,
oh, I got some things to delete.
Yeah, so that's the good thing. A lot of these people have already tried deleting evidence, which is no bueno. By the way, my favorite part about this is like you guys can post on Twitter all you want, but this is an actual lawsuit and it's happening and it's coming and you're gonna have to argue in front of a judge and this shit is not gonna work, right? It's not gonna work. That's the best part about this. You guys are screaming into the wind. You're not gonna stop what's coming. But anyway, although I think nobody really cares about any of these people, least of all Hasan, who is not opening his wallet, by the way. They've each made everybody's made a GoFundMe. Denims ran. She was so fast, and she wanted to open hers before Kaceytron and Frogan.
Well, to be fair, she had an account.
It doesn't take long.
She already had an account because she opened one and closed it.
Right, that's what I mean. So
I think
she got to, she exactly. She didn't need to do that step.
So they all now have a GoFundMe, and I think it's so funny that now that they're competing against each other for defense dollars, and Smog the Dragon, aka Hasan Piker, the communist, socialist savior, he is not opening his wallet. He is not promoting. He's barely promoted their GoFundMes.
Well, he did.
He retweeted it
He
or
gave them a
something?
very mild shout out. And he didn't donate. When he donate at least.
That I don't know.
Like, why? He's saying, you guys go support them. I'm not. That's what he said.
Very interesting.
I don't think drop
He did
100.
not say I'm not. He didn't say
No,
that.
by not donating, that is
yeah.
what Ethan is.
He's Mr. Generosity, isn't he?
Like
He's
a token donation for some of your strongest soldiers would be warranted. In
He's
this
Mr. Generosity. He's Mr. Charity. He couldn't even drop
well,
100.
it might be coming. It might be coming.
Always gotta do it on camera.
Better come a lot. It better come a lot because their GoFundMes so far are not going well. It turns out when it comes to defending them against what's pretty obviously egregious, undefensible behavior, and not just fueled by hating me, which is what Frogan's initial promise was. Not that she raised, what did she raise, like 40,000 or something?
Last time?
Yeah.
Snark Reddit also spread more false information, saying that H3 was doxing the addresses of the people that, he was suing in the video, which isn't true either. And H3 called it out as allowing other examples of misinformation to stay on the Reddit as well. And I think they were banning people who were correcting the original poster. XQC also made a point saying that suing these people will not, really profit. There's not going to be much of a profit coming from this, but possibly a huge financial loss, if anything. XQC has experienced legal stuff in the past, as he had a rough breakup with his ex-girlfriend and fellow streamer that ended up being a legal battle as well. It was an entire weird situation online.
True. I don't care. What I do hope, though, is that you'll support their crowdfunding efforts to defend themselves. Because let's face it, I want to make sure there's money left over for me when I win my lawsuits. Thanks for watching, everybody. It's been a great time. I'll see you around.
Well, I mean, Chad, he acts like a Chad, and it's a cool bit, but there's a lot less money to collect on overall, and it's gonna be a pure loss. It is what it is, and he knows this. He knows this because his initial lawsuit way back when was an absolute pure loss too, and it's how these things go. It is what it is. I mean, there's no real what, especially what is it some California thing? I mean, GG. But I mean, it's.
But this is more than just about money. It's about showing and stopping the abuse of reaction content. Also, in Tectone's words, these people could possibly get banned. Maybe this will also start new rules on Twitch, hopefully, but we'll see. This isn't a bullying campaign, though, like Hasan said, with money or whatever. The entire point was stated in the video and in tweets as to why H3 is doing this. If anything, H3 is protecting Hasan by being the first to strike on this issue, as Hasan would be one of the main people looked at if other networks came in looking at abusing reaction content. Hasan also responded on Twitter, quote tweeting a tweet that had misinformation of H3 suing Hasan on it, saying, "Washed up old YouTubers will do anything instead of taking some time off and going to therapy." I think everyone in the political commentary community needs some therapy. Also, this was just a poor response anyway. I think if anything, H3 is back on the rise since the drama with Hasan, and that rise has even skyrocketed since him winning over iDubbbz. Hasan also made a video titled Ethan ... this is embarrassing ... where he lies twice in the first 30 seconds of the video.
The second content nuke that is, I guess, the hit the timelines, and I make some interesting. I'm in the content nuke apparently, but it's not a content nuke alone. It's also a lawsuit. It turns out Ethan's initial content nuke, by his own estimation, by his own statements, was actually a trick. Was a trap. He wanted to basically sue everyone that watches the content nuke, and he's Mr. Copyright Infringement is trying to litigate the resentment that people feel towards him once again, which I think is very weird. And he is he's trying to. He's launched a lawsuit against Frogan, Denims, and Kaceytron. Now, a lot of people watched his Content Nuke. I don't know why he only sued those people. I mean, I watched his Content Nuke as well, but here's the, I don't know. This is so stupid. I don't know what to say about it, but here's the Dick Sardanox thing I saw from it.
That I formulated an idea. What if I could make a long-form, irresistible piece of content that I knew that these streamers couldn't resist, they couldn't avoid the temptation of watching it the second it was published?
I don't have an issue with them.
It's not that I wanted these people to steal my video. It's that I knew they would. I knew they would watch the entire video, add little to no commentary, react to it instantly, giving them no time to form an opinion. The trap was set, and it worked even.
Yeah, except I didn't do any of those things, which I feel like is a major failure of a trap. He begged me to watch it for months. He cried on camera that I just refused to watch it. And then I even told him I'd watch it alongside him if necessary. And then I ended up watching it months later to fundraise, and it's a 8-hour reaction for even half of the Content Nuke. So
him saying Ethan is suing everyone who watches it and is doing it because people talk bad about him and he's trying to get revenge are two things that are already debunked in the video and prove that he did not watch the video himself. Comments in this video grill Hasan, and in the video you can also tell Hasan puts on this nonchalant voice and act that he always does for whatever reason that's really annoying and really pathetic. But here are some of the comments from this video. Frank Visser 4617 says, Hasan, Asmongold didn't say anything in his reaction. Meanwhile, Asmongold's reaction is 2 hours longer than the Content Nuke. The audacity of this man. Joshua Brown 3148 says, this community is chalked. You can tell he didn't watch the video. Nanny-BRAXQ says, Hasan purposely leaves out the fact that Ethan is, quote, targeting these creators because they explicitly state the intention of the stream is to steal views from Ethan. These people watched Ethan's video in defense of Hasan are now getting screwed, and all Hasan can say is, quote, well, at least I didn't react to it, so ha ha ha, Ethan. The ignorance is actually insane. Ethan also shown on an Instagram story that his views on this stuff have been consistent since like a long time ago.
Intersperse short segments of another's work with criticism and commentary, while others are more akin to a group viewing session without commentary. Accordingly, the court is not ruling here that all reaction videos constitute fair use, which I think is a great distinction because us who do it well and who respect fair use, we hate these shitty Jinx styles reaction videos.
And I think everyone on YouTube also can tell the difference. There's the classic old school dumb reaction videos where they just sit there and watch it and don't say anything. They just laugh with the video or whatever. And then there is the other kind where people put in commentary, editing.
And so this is a precedent, a win on both sides. This is super powerful.
Muda also chimed in a couple of times in defense of H3, but the main one I am showing is him saying that the video could change YouTube as well, and I don't see how, as this is more so against streamers and Twitch streamers themselves than it is about YouTubers. So I hope that it really isn't going to affect YouTubers as well, as I think that at least right now we have a better system. Could it be better? I don't know, maybe. But I really I don't want to have to go through. YouTube already has systems like I talked about earlier where you can copyright claim, like take down a video. So, I mean, as long as those are consistent and actually work well and people can't abuse those, which I think abusing them is an issue recently. All three documents have a total of 196 pages, and the only dollar signs I seen were at least $150,000. I checked only like one certain segment. I think I'll show it up on the screen here, that where it talks about covering legal fees and other damages. If y'all want me to read these next time, let me know and I will. I'll read like bigger documents like this next time. They are in the description below of mine and H3's video. I personally don't understand why these people hate each other so much. Is it just because they can't agree on these topics? There are some people out there that are pretty all or nothing when it comes to their beliefs, but why do they all have to be so hateful? Unless you're a pedo or creep or a super bad person, which I don't think H3 falls into any of those, especially the last one anymore. Back in the day, or like a couple of years ago, I would have said, yeah, H3 needs to be banned off YouTube. but now I wouldn't say that. But since he's not anything like that, then why treat him so badly? Also, I do think H3 is in the right here. These people think that they're untouchable, which in the end makes them egotistical and more annoying. Twitch is a bad platform that sucks and has multiple flaws, and this video proved that. It's also easier to get in trouble on YouTube for these behaviors, and abusing the reaction category ruins it for a lot of other people and makes the true reactors and commentators look bad, as they are stuck under the stereotype that these people set. H3 talked about in the podcast that he wants to make the Hasan Content Nuke like the part 2 of it, but that is like more in the background. But you cannot be this malicious and get away with it, or just be so open about it. I think everyone in this needs to be humbled, and this is the one way to humble them, because Twitch isn't going to do anything about it. YouTube, you can only do a bit about it. Biggest way to do it is by this, and also it's good that Ethan goes ahead and does it before a big company like Disney does. The rules on Twitch need to be changed so it can be a better platform, because I want to see Twitch be a better platform. I think there's a lot of stuff that Kick is doing that Twitch does like not as well at all. They need to follow their kind of methods. And like I said earlier, this all wouldn't have happened if, one, they just kept their mouth shut and weren't so egotistical and thought they were untouchable, and two, if they did an intermission graphic while they were gone, or just simply pause the video. Watching a video you want to debunk, but leaving it to play for minutes at a time and losing important information and context hurts your argument against someone or debunking their statements. Like, it does not make sense to me that I would hate watch something, or I would want to defend myself or my friend against someone I really do not like, but sit there and leave the video running without being there to like actually watch or listen to it, and miss good points, miss stuff I can talk about. Just does not make sense. It's like they just do drama for the fashion and don't actually care about what they're doing or talking about, or are just truly that lazy. And yes, reaction content should be allowed to an extent on the platforms to where it isn't malicious or straight up stealing, but they admitted to those things on the live stream. H3 reposted some memes, and one of them from Oh Yeah on the H3 subreddit says, Frogan's multimillionaire socialist boss and friend after she asked him to pay for one of her attorney invoices. And it shows the Homer Simpson meme of him going into the bush. H3 says Hasan really should cover their lawyer expenses. LII-chair-224 says, Denim, after asking her community for a second time to help fundraise for a lawsuit. The second time? How bad of a person are you? H3 also says, it's okay, I know Hasan will cover them. I don't know if he really would or not. Probably, I guess, since they're all in a big circle jerk together. There's also another post from the H3 subreddit, and this time it's an actual meme. It shows like the Trojan horse, h3h3 Hasan Content Nuke, Ethan, Kaceytron, Frogan, and Denims just allowing like the Hasan Nuke to come in. That was pretty clever. Ethan also called out a woman named Taylor Lawrence, which I think I might have I don't know who she is at all, but I might have referenced her like one other time, saying I didn't know her at that time either. Taylor Lawrence quote tweets Frogan's tweet talking about how Ethan is suing her by saying, as someone who cares deeply about free speech, what Ethan is doing is appalling. Ethan is against free speech and free expression online. He is no different than other extremist hate mongers who use their millions to abuse the legal system to silence speech. Disgusting. H3 posted on Instagram saying, free speech? They didn't even say anything. There is no speech to silence. Crying laughing emoji, which is a good point because they weren't saying stuff and the only things that they did say were incriminating. H3 also posts another meme, or not really a meme, but it's a clip of Denims talking about how H3 won't sue her or whatever.
How's the lawsuit going? Nowhere, because Ethan Klein's too much of a sue me because he knows he'll lose. I love these people though that are like, any day now, he's gonna sue. Chat, just a reminder, by the way, after he paraded on the internet about how he was gonna sue me and he wanted to sue me, guess what? Still no lawsuit. Oh my god, he's so mad. I'm actually pretty certain that his lawyer told him to stop going after me. His lawyer most likely said, dude, you need to stop. You actually need to stop. Whatever, you think I'm an idiot, you think I'm the dumbest person alive, that's fine. Go read the lawsuit. Maybe if you don't want to respect me, you can go respect a judge and a lawyer.
An H3 parody account just said, I've made the most difficult decision of my life. I'm suing my own children. I recently caught the boys watching the podcast while they were recording it on their tablet. The only thing they'd say is the occasional, that's daddy, and I love you, dad. Effing pathetic dude. Sued. Nicholas DiOrio commented on someone else's tweet. It shows all of the GoFundMes from each streamer being sued, and Kaceytron's is like the worst. As Nicholas DiOrio says, Casey used a stolen thumbnail to raise money for her stolen content lawsuit, which is just insane. Like, the jokes literally write themselves. Like, this is the biggest layup I've seen on YouTube in a minute. But that's all I got for today. Let me know what y'all think in the comments down below about this situation. I already gave my opinion on it at the end. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe, as I do videos on internet dramas, locales, and more. I have a pretty big video that might be pretty long, updating you all on some people I've already talked about before, but I really want to talk about this first before I got done with that video. Probably another video on Ian soon as well. Is probably another plan in the books right now, but make sure to follow my Twitter, as is linked in the description below. And in the end, I'm PERK30, and keep God close.
Wake up, Ethan. Wake up, Ethan. Ethan, wake up.
Wakey, wakey, Ethan. Wake up, Ethan. Wake up. Time to be